More and more Americans are asking themselves, is a college degree still worth it?
Here's that some companies are now hiring applicants who don't have a degree. It's leaving many to wonder, is a degree really necessary?
Ever asked yourself why a college degree, once a golden ticket to a prosperous career, now falls under scrutiny?
While it was the second best year on record for jobs, there are still nearly twice as many openings as there are job seekers. So that has led some companies to drop a long-standing requirement, a college degree.
Our journey begins in the 1960s, a time when a college degree was a rare gem, a key that unlocked the door to the upper middle-class lifestyle. Imagine only 7.7% of Americans over the age of 25 held a college degree. Fast forward to 2022, and that figure has leapt to an astounding 37%. That's an almost 500% increase. With such a dramatic surge in graduates, the talent pool for employers expanded like never before. But here's the kicker. This also diluted the exclusivity and perceived value of holding a degree. The National Bureau of Economic Research has noted that in a world where fewer than 2/3 of Americans are in the workforce, having a college degree is no longer the exception. It's become the norm. In response, many have sought to gain a competitive edge in the job market by pursuing further education, such as a master's degree. Yet with 13.1% of Americans now holding a master's or higher degree, even this path is losing its shine. The financial investment for a master's degree is substantial, averaging nearly $60,000. While some argue it pays off over a long career, others point out that those pursuing advanced degrees likely already earn above the average due to their skills and motivation, suggesting the actual earnings gap may be narrower than expected. The job market is evolving, and with it, so are attitudes towards the value and necessity of a college degree.
You know, we ask kids that are 16 to 18 years old to make $100,000 debt decisions when they go off to university. And they're not prepared for that. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They just assume, okay, I'm going to pay 4 years of education at $25,000 a pop, and when I come out the other side, somehow I'll be able to pay it back.
Right.
That's not how life works anymore.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
I think having the flexibility to explore a lot of different things, which you can do when you're in college, which is one of the amazing things about being in college, is you can work on all these hobbies and code a lot of stuff and try a lot of different things. It's this amazing flexibility that I think most people take for granted. And once you decide, okay, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to do it with someone else, you immediately now need to convince someone else if you want to change your mind on something. And I think people really undervalue the option value and flexibility. I think explore what you want to do before committing is really like the key thing. And keep yourself flexible, and no, I think that's. I
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. You know, if you think of like what is education, like you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education because like it shouldn't be like this huge chore. You know, someone's standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row. And they're not very excited about it. And in fact, I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them. Because they never use them in the future. Because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
The people who are doing the work that we care about are figuring out what to do next, not following the person who told them what to do next. And the problem with most colleges is they are high school, but with more binge drinking. The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail, not a foundation to get an A. And if you graduate from college with straight A's, you have to do some serious soul searching as to why you chose to spend your time doing that.
The A students work for the B students, the C students run the businesses, and the D students dedicate the buildings.
It's like the newspaper industry, right? More printing presses, more big buildings, right? Makes us look grander. We have brains that we're putting them out there. There's a point of diminishing returns in terms of what it's worth for a college education and how much debt you're willing to saddle yourself with.
A lot of people follow. A lot of people are followers. Generally, if not, we'd have problems. We have too many entrepreneurs. We have too many successful people. Like, look how many people go through business classes. If everything you needed was in that actual business class, in that book, it'd be too many successful business people.
Right.
How many people graduate? Matter of fact, the professor wouldn't have the time to sit there and teach you. That knows this book damn near verbatim, page by page, he knows it, right?
Because he'd be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's too busy. I'm doing way too much right now because I got the palm trees and we selling so much stuff that I'm doing that I ain't quite got time to teach no mother class right now because I'm winning.
And so when you walk into a boardroom with a bunch of guys in suits who all went to college, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, because they read a bunch of words. I've lived a bunch of life.
Well, that's true. Their law degree doesn't intimidate you, in other words.
It kind of evens us out, whether they know it or not.
Where do you think you get that self-esteem from? Seriously. I mean, most guys...
My mom, first and foremost, but then just living life. Like, you know, being in real situations and happen to be a person of high integrity and honesty and, you know...
You never embarrassed yourself?
No, of course not.
You never walked in and said, "Oh, everybody thinks I'm ignorant here. I'm stupid."
I don't feel ignorant.
Right.
You know, I don't.
Right.
I felt like I came up in a situation, or a time, you know, where I wasn't afforded certain opportunities, and if afforded opportunities, I could be Oprah. I could be Bill Gates. I could be Warren Buffett.
In my experience in business, there is very little difference, if any, between a very high-priced business education and what's available for a lot less money. I went to the University of Nebraska at Lincoln my last year in college. I went to Wharton for a couple of years before that. I learned just as much at the University of Nebraska as I did at Wharton. You need to be prodded in the right direction, but an awful lot of it is self-taught. It isn't necessary to pay $30,000 or $35,000 a year to go to some big-name school to get the education at all. I mean, if you're going to learn accounting, which is probably the most important course you'd take in business, if you're going to learn accounting, you can learn accounting absolutely as well, in my view, going to UNO as going to Harvard. I mean, I see. I'd bet on that, and so I wouldn't run up huge bills.
Once a guarantee of financial stability and career progression, a degree is now just one of many factors considered by employers. The spotlight is shifting towards practical skills and experience, but this transition is not without its challenges. Despite some companies announcing they no longer require degrees, many still prefer candidates with formal education. The once coveted college degree now faces a challenging question. Does it still hold its weight in the current job market? As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll explore the shift towards valuing practical skills and experience and the challenges this presents. So, stay tuned as we navigate the changing landscape of education and employment. As the job market evolves, so does the criteria for landing that dream job. There's a strong undercurrent shifting the tides of employment. Job requirements are morphing, their focus straying from the well-trodden path of formal education. Instead, they're swerving towards the road less traveled, the path of practical skills and real-world experience. The traditional blueprint of a promising candidate, once dominated by degrees and diplomas, is being redrawn. Job listings are changing their tune. The chorus once chimed "degree required," but the melody now hums a different tune, "skills desired." It's a symphony that's playing out across industries, a harmony of practical abilities and hands-on experience that's becoming the preferred soundtrack of hiring managers. This change is more than just a trend. It's a seismic shift in the employment landscape. It's a move towards a more skills-oriented hiring approach. It's a recognition that the ability to perform job-specific tasks is more valuable than a piece of paper stating you spent 4 years in a lecture hall. The Harvard Business Review has reported that as university qualifications become more common, employers are demanding them less. Instead, they're looking for proof of ability, evidence of skill, and demonstrations of experience. Yet, this shift isn't without its challenges. While the trend is towards valuing skills over degrees, formal education still holds a certain allure for many employers. The Harvard Business Review, in collaboration with the Burning Glass Institute, found that while the number of jobs explicitly removing degree requirements has increased, the practical impact of these changes remains limited. This raises important questions about how we assess and value skills and qualifications in the hiring process. It's a spotlight on the importance of experience, internships, and professional networks. It's a call to action for a more equitable hiring process, one that values ability over academia. The job market shift has signaled a new era, one where practical skills and experience take center stage. It's an evolution that's redefining what it means to be qualified, shaking up the status quo, and sparking a revolution in how we think about education and employment. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get ready to show the world what we're capable of. But with every shift, there are challenges and implications to consider. On one hand, the increasing emphasis on practical skills and experience in the job market can be seen as a positive development. Yet it's also important to recognize the potential disparities this shift could cause in access to opportunities. Fairness and accessibility in job opportunities are paramount, but there's a concern that without a clear standard like a college degree, these could be compromised. The shift also raises questions about how skills and qualifications are assessed and valued. Will the value of practical experience and internships outweigh that of formal education? Could the importance of professional networks inadvertently create a barrier for those without such connections? These are complex issues that require thoughtful solutions. As we navigate this shift, it's crucial to ensure a more equitable and inclusive job market, where qualifications extend beyond the walls of academia.
And education is very good at training people to do the same things that we've done over and over again. And I think there's always a question what the nature of the educational good is. You can say it's an investment good, where you're investing in the future. You can say it's a consumption good, like college is a 4-year party. I think most of the parents and students think of it actually as an insurance policy, where you're buying this really ever more expensive insurance so that the students don't fall through the really big cracks in our society, and we should be asking some big questions why the insurance costs are going up and up like that. And if you were the president of Harvard or Stanford, if you wanted to get a lynch mob of students, alumni, faculty to come after you and try to lynch you, what you should say is something like this. We live in this much larger, more global world. We offer a great education to everybody, and so we're going to double or triple our enrollment over the next 15 to 20 years. And people they'd all be furious, because the value of the degrees comes from this massive exclusion, and what you're really running is something like a Studio 54 nightclub.